It was sudden, it was messy, and until now, it was surrounded by speculation. Mark Dolan, one of the most recognizable faces on GB News, was fired last December with almost no warning. A presenter who regularly pulled in strong ratings, suddenly gone. For a year, the question lingered. What really happened behind the scenes? Tonight, Dolan breaks his silence, and his story paints a picture far more complex than viewers ever imagined. Dolan, 51, was once a fixture of the GB News lineup. His dismissal was announced bluntly on X. GB News have made the decision to permanently relieve me of my duties. He later revealed he was fired, in minutes, a shock even to him. Speaking on the Daily Espresso podcast, Dolan finally described what life inside the channel was really like. According to him, the public's image of GB News is nothing like the reality. He explained, "People assume it's a conservative, right-wing channel full of horrible racists, but that's not true. The brand is never the same as the people in it. Behind the controversial headlines and political battles," he says, "were 150 to 200 bright, talented, interesting people, many of whom were, ironically, rabid lefties. Working at the channel," he insisted, "was a positive experience." He praised the young journalists who joined straight out of college, often stepping into major roles because of the channel's limited budget. GB News and Talk TV, he emphasized, were bound by Ofcom rules requiring balanced reporting. What people underestimate is how hard they worked on balance, because for them, it's existential. For Dolan, his time at the channel was fulfilling. "There's not a syllable I regret," he said. He simply spoke his mind, after researching every topic. And then came his exit. 3 days before Christmas, Dolan was dismissed, without explanation. He still has no idea why. What makes it stranger, his viewing figures were strong. His final show, he claimed, had double Sky's audience. And even beat BBC News for half the broadcast. His last monologue hit 250,000 YouTube views. "You're firing someone who can generate that," he reportedly told bosses. But Dolan chose not to stay angry. "No one is owed a living," he said calmly. "In the media, sometimes you get gigs you don't deserve, and sometimes you don't get gigs you do deserve." Instead of spiraling, he escaped to Austria to visit his in-laws. He drank his own body weight in Austrian beer, failed at skiing, and refused to think about the firing for 10 days. When he returned in the new year, he made a decision. Start over. Dolan built a new YouTube channel, The Mark Dolan Show, focusing on royal gossip. A fresh direction, a new audience, and, in his words, something he never would have created without being fired. His message now is surprisingly hopeful. Losing his job pushed him forward. He bears no grudges. And he says he wants GB News to succeed. In the end, Mark Dolan's story is not just about being fired. It's about reinvention, resilience, and a reminder that sometimes the fall becomes the beginning.